little bit of miscommunication, but they got it over. Tumen to Webker. Webker, husband and wife play from Hernandez and LaPinta. 6 in a row for Ohio State. And that'll force Daniela Tomic to take a timeout. 7 for Ohio State, 2 for the Falcons on WBGU 88.1 FM.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service Ad Council and your state forester.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Bowling Green and Ohio State volleyball trade the first couple of points, but Ohio State goes on a decent 6-point run, and they now lead 7-2 over Bowling Green. I am Ben Korak here with Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network in the Covelli Center at Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. Grace Egan has not surrendered her serve in the last 6 points. She had 1 ace yesterday, 2 errors. Coming into this series, she had 5 aces on the season. Going for her 8th point, received by Hernandez. Out in the set, way across to Newblatt. Newblatt off the block. Londa keeps it up. Tumen back across. Hovey keeps it up now. Out in the set, across the middle. Jessica Andrews. Great to see that out of the middles very early, Chaz.
And Ben, you mentioned you wanted to see the Andrews-Otten connection get a little bit more tuned up, and it looks like they did a good job there. Good setup there by Otten. We've seen a couple awkward sets come off of her, the one to Newblatt on that play, but that was a good setup by her and great execution there by Andrews to find an empty spot in the floor.
Hernandez and Newblatt out. Avery Anders in the game, checking the service. Nice and decent. Finds Hasbrook. Webker, the strike. Is it in? Yes, it is. Perfectly placed from Reese Webker. Point toward Ohio State. Very early in the game to see Avery Anders, Chaz. Very early in the game.
That'll be interesting to see what's going on with her. Anders, just a freshman. So another injection of youth. Maybe Coach Tomic trying to find something that works here.
LaPinta, Otten to Andrews. Quick over the middle. Spins on the tape. And Londa knocks it out of play. 4th point for the Falcons. They trail by 4. First set between the Falcons and the Buckeyes. BG wearing orange with the libero, Lindsay LaPinta wearing white, and Ohio State wearing white with their libero, Olivia Hasbrook, wearing red. LaPinta serving left to right across your radio dial, just over the tape, received by Hasbrook. Tumen back to Londa. Londa off of Anders. Anders a little bit of an overset and out of play.
And that will come with time with Andrews. You could see just a bit of a reception error trying to get that one set up and just sending it out of play towards the far side of the court.
Londa back to serve. That last kill on Anders was a 5th year against a freshman, so quite the age disparity there. Otten throws it down, saved by Londa. Great dig from her. Webker trying deep. LaPinta just keeps it alive but oversets it, so free play for Ohio State. The quick over the middle, outside. Eloise Brenda, we couldn't land it. Falcons still chase 4.
And Londa having a very good day so far, just with digs alone. Some very impressive ones. She had one off her shoulder.
And Otten knocks it into the tape. It falls down on the BG side, so sends the 10th point to Ohio State.
First service error of the night for Bowling Green, who had 14 on Friday.
Hovey Mattil, Tyler, Avery Anders, Lindsay LaPinta, and Amanda Otten in the game. Perfect from Anders. Back to Otten. Otten to Hovey. Off the face of Hasbrook. Ball goes back to BG. Set from Otten. Quick over the middle. Blocked off of the hand of Mattil. Back to Hovey again. Sends it long. Couldn't keep it in the floor. 11 for Ohio State, 5 for the Falcons.
It looked like that one almost went off the hands of Brandewie, but no call happening there, so it must have just been a close one.
See who is the target from Ohio State? It goes to Mia Tyler, and a good choice as she sends it back over. Tuman back across to Egan. Egan, wow, what a spike. Off LaPinta and out of play. You know, when Egan can step into that ball when she gets a good set, she can really rip it down the seams.
You can see an emphasis being put early on LaPinta as they are just kind of picking on her a little bit.
Rader over. Anders across to Tyler. Tyler tries to find open space. Did it hit the line? Yes, it did. It's in. Newblatt and Hernandez will check back in the game for Mia Tyler and Avery Anders.
Newblatt and number 1, Cindy Hernandez. Hernandez to serve.
3 kills for Riley Rader and Emily Londit. 2 for Reese Webker and 1 for Grace Egan just a few moments ago. 2 kills for Jessica Andrews. She has the highest for the Falcons. Tuman over the middle to Brandewie. Brandewie to Hernandez. To Newblatt. Newblatt from downtown had no chance. Tuman back way across to Grace Egan. She knocks it into the official. That's a point for her. BG's spacing and their blocking just is going to have to be on point if they're going to stop Grace Egan today.
Egan already with 2 kills here early. She's got 3 total points, and they are finding so many different offensive weapons here early in this one.
Hasbrook tips it over. Newblatt across the middle to Mattil. Mattil, perfect reception by Hasbrook. Londa, and then she puts it away. 14 for Ohio State, 6 for the Falcons. And Daniela Tomic is forced to take her second timeout. We'll take it with her. WBGU 88.1 FM.
The Western Scrub Jay. I was taking my science class on a virtual reality bird watching expedition. All of a sudden, Charlie Kane shouts, "Arr! Arr!" He had spotted the elusive black swift, a bird rarely seen in the wild. For a brief moment, Charlie had not the eyes of a 9-year-old boy. He had the eyes of an eagle.
Teachers just have better work stories. Find out how creative teaching can be at teachdfw.org. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
I'm Surgeon General Jerome Adams. If you've recovered from COVID-19 confirmed by a positive test, you're in a special position to help us fight the virus. Your plasma has antibodies that may help others fight COVID. So please donate plasma now. You can literally help save lives. There are locations across the country that have safe ways for you to donate. Find a site to donate your plasma at coronavirus.gov.
Produced by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services at taxpayer expense.
Back here in the Covelli Center in Columbus, Ohio, at the home of Ohio State University. I am Ben Korak with Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network. For BGSU Sports News and Updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter. Ohio State goes on an early run and continues the run as they near 15 kills. They are at 14. BG is at 6. In the first set between the Falcons and the Buckeyes. Buckeyes won in Bowling Green in the Stroh Center in front of a record-setting 4,200 attendees. They won in 4 sets, but tight in all 4 sets. The ball is long off the service, so the point will go to BG. Jessica Andrews back in the game for LaPinta, who is going to rotate to the front row. Alexis Mattil. 1 ace yesterday, 2 errors in the 4 sets. This one just nice and easy. Tuman quick over the middle. And Mattil pancakes it. Great play by Mattil on the dig. Hasbrook set across to Grace Egan, rejected. Andrews and Hovey got up and sent the ball down.
Great effort on all sides by Mattil, Hovey, and Andrews. Mattil had that phenomenal dig with the right hand, just managing to scrape it off the floor.
Mattil, this one into the hands of Sydney Taylor. She mishandles it. BG nears the 10-point mark.
And a surprise there. Taylor, we mentioned off air, has been very solid so far. She's got 3 digs, and she's been very consistent at pulling them out, but that one just ate her up.
Mattil again, miscommunication from Ohio State. This one to Egan. Egan, a nice and easy one. Easy for BG to handle. Otten to Hovey. Hovey gets the down.
And that's one thing we mentioned, Ben. Hovey relatively quiet on Friday against the Buckeyes. She only had 6 kills. She's going to need to step it up if the Falcons are going to want to win. Down 4, are we going to see some more offensive efficiency?
Received by Egan. Looked like it was going long. 2-man back. Londit has to knock it over. Hernandez. Otten to Andrews. Andrews off of Londit. Egan just has to knock it over. Free play for the Falcons, but it's overset. Londit again, blocked by a Newblatt. Quick over the middle, blocked by the Falcons, but out of play. Good rally from BG. Quite an odd one as they send it over on the first or second touch multiple times, but Ohio State comes away with the point.
And you can feel a little bit of a different vibe than what it was on Friday. The Falcons held tight against the Buckeyes in that one. It seems like right now the Buckeyes starting to pull away.
Hernandez, Otten. Otten has the bump set to Newblatt. Newblatt off the block. Otten keeps it up, gives them the best chance. Newblatt slides across the floor, but can't save the ball. 16 for Ohio State, 10 for the Falcons.
And that back court for the Falcons seemingly a bit of a struggle so far, as LaPinta's just not able to get where she needs to be.
We saw a lot of that yesterday, Chaz, especially when BG on the defensive side, them crashing in toward the 3-meter line and not being able to defend the blocks. But this kill from Lauren Hovey is off of Sydney Taylor and out of play. 11 for the Falcons sends Lauren Hovey back behind the line. She is 4 aces away from tying the rally scoring era ace record for the Falcons, 5 from breaking. Tall order to break that record today, but we're nearing up on it. Grace Egan, oh my gosh. What a rip from Grace Egan. Hernandez had no chance.
No, that one just absolutely popped up on Hernandez. Wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that from Egan. That was just a rocket off of the right arm.
Hernandez was perfectly placed because Egan likes to hug that line on the right side. Hernandez, Otten, back set to Andrews. Andrews a little bit off, couldn't get a good strike on it. Quick over the middle to Egan, off of LaPinta. Can they get it? Hovey lays out, but can't get there in time. Great hustle play by Lauren Hovey. You mentioned it before, Chaz, and I think it's important to note, Ohio State has not only mixed up the players that are getting kills, they have 3 players in 4-kill territory, but they're also switching up the places on the court from which they are killing. Egan's hit from both sides, Londit's hit from both sides, as Egan receives oddly there. Otten across to Newblatt. Newblatt off the block. Hasbrook, 2-man, throws it down is Riley Rader. Fantastic play there. And again, as I say, switching up the looks.
And Rader there just with the soft touch. I mean, everything Ohio State is doing, they're doing everything right now. They've had a couple errors, but besides that, the digs coming out of Hasbrook have been very good. Coming out of Taylor have been very good, setting up these plays and just staying in it.
Service long from Grace Egan, so she sends a point back to BG. That's BG's 12th point, 19 for Ohio State, 12 for the Falcons. Edita Vaswavchik in the game for the Falcons. An impactful player yesterday. One of the few for the Falcons in a little bit of a poor offensive day. She had 6 kills, 2 errors on 20 attempts, 1 assist, 1 dig, and 2 solo blocks. Her first service is long as well, so evening out gives Ohio State their 20th point of the first set.
Mia Tyler and Avery Anders brought in as well. Tyler was expected to be that second scoring option behind Lauren Hovey. We haven't seen that pan out so much just yet, as it seems like the Falcons are trying to find their identity here.
Tyler, Otten to Andrews. Andrews off the block. That was the strongest we've seen from Andrews today. Off of Londet, out of play. Point goes to BG.
And that was a good decision there by Anders, who went to go get the dig, try to pull that one out, and at the last second opened her arms as that ball was outside on the far side.
The fifth year, Lindsay LaPinta. Over, looked like it might have gone long, but Ohio State plays it. Londa just has to knock it over. Otten, bad set. Bump from LaPinta, perfect. Hovey, rejected. Now BG gets another chance. Tyler again, received by Hasbrook to Tuman. Back to Londa. Londa with a strong one. Avery Anders keeps it too low. Otten has no play. 21 for Ohio State, 13 for the Falcons.
Anders had a nice salvage there on the initial attack, but then on that secondary attack when they targeted her again, she just could not scrape that one off the floor.
Londa had no aces yesterday. She's got 14 this season. Tyler receives it. Otten the back to Mattil. Mattil is overset. BG gets another chance. Otten across to Tyler. Tyler gets it down! Hasbrook couldn't get down in time, and Mia Tyler gets a kill.
You wouldn't want to be Hasbrook in that situation, as Alexis Mattil had that really hard hit that she managed to dig out, but then the secondary attack by Tyler, just way too much acceleration on that ball.
Amanda Otten, the setter, is over. Londa, Tuman, across to Brandewie. Brandewie saved by LaPinta. What a play on the layout across to Hovey. Hovey, can she land it? Off of Egan and out of play. 15 for the Falcons.
Falcons climbing out a little bit, 21-15 here. Starting to see a lot more effort coming out. That diving attempt by LaPinta, best play she's had today so far.
Otten again, nice and strong last time. See who she targets. She targets Londa, but sends it over her head. So a service error for Amanda Otten. On the last play, Lauren Hovey advanced to 4 kills, 1 assist, and 3 digs, as well as 2 block assists for 5 total points. She trails Riley Rader and Emily Londet, who each have 5 kills, and is tied with Grace Egan, who has 4 kills respectively. Sydney Taylor to Tyler. Tyler mishandles it. That's why she was targeted. Avery Anders back to Tyler. Tyler top spins it over. Tuman. Egan. Egan is blocked! Hovey and Mattil.
Hovey got all of that ball, it seems like. And yet again, the combination of Mattil and Hovey coming in clutch. You mentioned on Friday the blocks for the Falcons really kept them in it, and again we're seeing a lot of efficiency coming from there. The Falcons have 6 blocks so far today.
Hernandez back. She subs into the game with Edita Vaswavchik. Tuman, the set across the middle to Brandewie, off of the block from Eddie, falls to the floor. Ohio State nearing that set point mark. They sit at 23, BG at 16. BG trailing 7. Olivia Hasbrook. Right hand up and over, LaPinta. Vaswavchik sets across to Hovey. Hovey just has to get it over. Egan, Tuman, Londet off of Hernandez. Beautiful set from Hovey to Vaswavchik. Vaswavchik is blocked. Mattil is blocked as well. Tuman over. BG keeps it up. Bump set from LaPinta to Hovey. Off the block. LaPinta tries it again. Again to Hovey. Into the net. Attack error for Lauren Hovey. And set point, Ohio State.
And Ben, on Friday we saw a lot of the soft touch being used by the Buckeyes. They're not doing that so much today. They were going more so with that hard, heavy attack, targeting the smaller spots in the floor, trying to get the sides. But now 1 point here.
LaPinta to Otten. Top spinner from Vaswavchik. Handled by Hasbrook to Egan. Egan trying to put the set away. Bad bump from Sydney Hernandez, and Ohio State will take the first set. 25 for Ohio State, 16 for BG. They lead 1-0. on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
I'm a wife,
a sister,
and a grandfather.
I'm an office clerk.
I'm a research analyst, dance fitness instructor,
actor.
I'm a copywriter.
I'm a veteran.
I have lupus,
cerebral palsy.
I'm blind.
And I'm working in a job I love.
I love.
Because I was given a chance
to contribute my skills and talents.
To show that my disability
is only one part of who I am.
Who I am.
Who I am.
At work, it's what people can do that matters.
For more information, visit whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Eating, working, living pain-free. These are a few of the things many of us take for granted. But for many adults with disabilities who are elderly or have serious medical issues, dental care is simply unaffordable. Dental Lifeline Network is looking for dentists who can change this. DLN is asking dentists and their teams to volunteer to just see one of the many patients in need. You can literally change a life. Visit willyouseeone.org to help change one life in your community today.
My name is Jim. I'm a veteran, and I lost both legs in Vietnam. My victory was proving that disability is not a limitation.
I'm Julius. I'm a veteran. My victory was going from homeless to home.
At DAV, we're on a mission, helping veterans of all generations get the benefits they've earned.
I'm Cece. My victory was finishing my education.
When America's veterans win, we all win. Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
The Buckeyes take the first set 1-0. I am Ben Korak with Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network, calling this volleyball game in the Covelli Center in Columbus, Ohio. Ohio State dominating in the first. They had 18 kills to the Falcons 8, a 342 hitting percentage to the Falcons 139. Chaz, what did you see in that first set?
There was a lot of miscommunication in the backcourt. It felt like both Sydney Hernandez and Lindsay LaPinta, when they were on the court together, were going for the same play every time. A lot of that miscommunication led to wide open shots on the close side left part of the court, and the Buckeyes targeted that a lot. They also targeted Lindsay LaPinta. You could tell they were going after her a lot of mishandled digs, and it just seems like the Falcons are sort of beating themselves. The acceleration coming off the ball for the Buckeyes is just too much to handle right now early, but we still got maybe 4 sets to go. There's a lot of time left. The Falcons just need to rally here. We saw them hold close at the Stroh Center. So they can do it. We've seen them do it, but the question is, will they, as we head into set number 2?
Jazz, as we saw yesterday, some new faces brightening the Falcons lineup. Anna Shetek and Avery Anders in the game. Shetek was kind of a stunner for the Falcons yesterday. She came out and got the Falcons moving again, got them back into competition with Ohio State. And she has earned herself a start to start the second set. Again, Ohio State leads 1-0. They won 25-16. Pure domination from the Buckeyes. Egan receives perfectly to Tumen, across to Brandewie. Brandewie is received by Shetek that clears it over. This one, beautiful, across, Tyler, blocked. Somebody hit the net, it was Mia Tyler. Point goes to Ohio State.
And even if somebody didn't hit the net there, Anders and Tyler both tried to pursue the same ball there. It looked like they were about to collide. That was not going to be a good setup anyway.
Mia Tumen behind. She had no aces on 2 errors yesterday. This one is neither. Shetek bumps that across. Tyler top spins it over. Tumen to Egan. Egan is blocked. That's the way to stop her right there. Just get your hands up and don't let her get over. Hasbrook back. London off the block and out of play. London gets her 6th kill. And Ohio State leads 2-0.
London tucked that ball towards the close side, got the better of the block combination of Mattil and Tyler.
Mia Tyler to Shetek. Back to Hovey. Hovey, way long. Did it go off the hand? No, it didn't.
And that's the thing about Lauren Hovey. She has so much power in that arm, but sometimes it's a little bit too much. That control can come into play at times and bite the Falcons.
Ohio State gets it over. Mattil. Shetek. Shetek to Tyler. Off the block. Mattil loses the joust at the net. Shetek with another set to Mattil. Tyler keeps it up. Shetek gets it back to Hovey. Hovey gets it down. First point for the Falcons come off Lauren Hovey.
And what was that, a reverse commentator's curse? I don't know what you'd call it, but talking about how Hovey tends to overshoot. She puts that one perfectly in the center between 3 different Buckeyes, and that one just had way too much speed on it for anybody to really pull out.
Chaz, something I saw there that's very important too. BG had trouble mixing up their looks yesterday from different sides of the court. They played that entire rally on the near side of the court and then got it over to Hovey on the far side. Blockers couldn't get there in time, and Hovey gets her 5th kill. London again over off of Hernandez. That was a hummer. Hernandez couldn't handle it. 4 for Ohio State, 1 for the Falcons. Reese Webker in the game for Ohio State. Sending back Grace Egan. Again, 17 kills, 6 errors, 33 attempts yesterday. Outstanding day from Egan. She was the best attacker for Ohio State. LaPinta lays out off the tape. Has to dump it over. London for the kill. Kept up by Hovey. Shetek. Set to Vaswavchik. Vaswavchik off the block. Can it find the floor? No. Hasbrook back across to London. London strong to Shetek. Shetek sends it over on the back line of Ohio State. And Ohio State extends their lead 2-4.
Yet again, great effort there, though, by LaPinta. It seems like she's cleaning up a couple of the things from that first set, but again, that power coming off of the Buckeyes is just dominating.
And Casterkirch again as LaPinta misreceives the service and sends it into the media booth. So Egan gets credit for an ace. She's got 2 already. 2 aces, 1 error. 7 total points for Grace Egan, but sends the next one long, so she evens herself out 2-2 on aces and errors.
That's the 59th error for the Buckeyes, which ends up putting them at 8th in the Big Ten, right towards the middle. So not a big ace team, as a lot of that comes off of Londit, as you mentioned in the pregame.
Grace Egan set across. Tried to be kept up by Sydney Hernandez, a little bit out of position. She has to lay out to her right, and the point goes to Ohio State. OSU up 7-2 over BG. London again, it's not even halfway through the second set. She's chasing a double-double. She's got 8 kills, 7 digs. She's right there. Outstanding stuff from one of the best players in the nation. Raider over. Shetek back set to Hovey. Hovey off the block, finds the wood. And the Falcons take their 3rd point.
And that was a good look there by Bowling Green. They kind of snuck Hovey around as she creeps up and gets the kill there. She was hidden behind the combination of Newblatt and Andrews.
They're gonna have to get around the blockers as much as possible. Try and switch up the sides that they're attacking from. Hovey, Hasbrook across. Brandewee's blocked. Now Shetek across to Vaswavchik. So much power from her. The bump is from behind the line, sends it back over. Shetek set. Hovey the second. Back to Eddie. Eddie off of Egan. Can Tuman get there? Yes, she can. Keeps it in play. Fantastic play just to keep the ball alive. Shetek again. Back to Andrews. Andrews off of Tuman to Egan. Egan to London. London off the block. Finds the feet of Bowling Green. Ohio State wins the rally. Heartbreaking for the Falcons after a couple of good kills.
And that was just a dominating performance there by Bowling Green, or by the Buckeyes. Bowling Green did everything right there. You had a very good setup there by Shetek, pushed over by Andrews, but at the end of the day, the Buckeyes have just managed to keep those rallies going.
London nice and strong, targets Hernandez. Back to Hovey. Hovey top spins it into Londit. Throws it down is Mia Tumen. Great play. Just like what we see out of Amanda Ott. Reaches over the net on the second touch. Finds the donut right in the middle of the court.
And spacing for Bowling Green has been a bit of an issue as they're trying the misdirection. They're trying to get some good kills out of their hitters, but it's just not working.
Vaswavchik back to Andrews. Andrews off the block, has to knock it over. Andrews just knocks it back. Londit across to Webker. Hovey keeps it up. Shetek across to Andrews. Andrews, can she get it? No, she can't. Shetek tries to get it over on the first touch. Now she sets back to Andrews. She knocks it down. Couple of tries for the Falcons, but Andrews ends the rally.
Great effort there by both sides. Londit and Egan combining for a couple very nice digs, but what about Shetek? You mentioned her on Friday. She was a force, and they're just refusing to be put down as Andrews ends up putting the hammer down.
24 kills for Ohio State, 11 for the Falcons, 5 errors for each team. BG has more attempts, 54 to 51, and a far worse hitting percentage. 111 for the Falcons, 373 for OSU. Vaswavchik behind the line. Egan receives. Tumen, back set to Brandewie. Received by Vaswavchik. Off the hand of Shetek. Shetek knocks it down in the second touch. Good play by Anna Shetek.
Shetek might have the number of the Buckeyes. She is imposing her will here.
Tumen set behind the line to Londit. Londit off the block. LaPinta lays out but can't keep it up. Avery Anders checking in the game for Ardita Vaswavchik. Seen a lot of playing time from Avery Anders today. Daniela Thomas trying to do anything to switch up personnel, get a different look, which worked yesterday, Chaz. Or I keep thinking it's yesterday. It was on Friday. The game was on Friday.
I wasn't gonna correct you because days move pretty fast right now.
Yes, they do. Anna Shetek to Tyler. Tyler, wow, what a strike with the top spin. Ohio State keeps it alive. Egan with a strong one into the net. And the point goes to the Falcons. They limit their deficit to 4. 10 for Ohio State, 6 for BG.
The decision to dig that one out by Hasbrook on the serve might come back to bite them, as it looked like that one was going to be long.
Floating serve from the libero. Lindsay LaPinta, strike from what looked to be Mia Tumen. I'm sorry, that was Eloise Brandewie. All the way across, caught Hovey flat-footed just a little bit. Couldn't make a good play on the ball. 11 for Ohio State, 6 for the Falcons.
Brandewie's shot clipped Mattel and then ended up blowing up Hovey there. There was no hope of getting that one up.
Hasbrook just skirts the tape. Shetek, cross. Mattel, is it wide? Yes, it is. Just long off the hand of Mattel, inches away from a kill for her.
Close one there by Mattel. Just couldn't tuck that one in.
Right on that back line. Perfectly placed. Nobody could have made a play on the ball. Wow, what a serve from Olivia Hasbrook. Touches the tape at the top, tumbles down to the feet of the Falcons.
And yet again, just a spacing issue with Shetek all the way on that far outside corner, and Mattil and Tyler kind of tight on that one side.
Anders in the middle. She gets target. Perfect to Shetek. Shetek off the hand of Hasbrook and out of play. That's 2 kills on second touches for Anna Shetek, taking advantage of Ohio State just not being in position. You know what I see here, Chaz? Middle blockers have not been a big part of the Falcons' attack. On Friday or today, Anna Shetek from the middle there was able to find success because the blockers were split on either side, looking for either Hovey or Mia Tyler attacking from the outsides. That should be a key to BG trying to attack more in the middle.
And that'll be interesting to see as we get further into play, as Andrews and Mattil had great games last week.
Egan with the receiving error. Anna Shetek gets an ace. And the Falcons narrow their lead, or their deficit, to 5. 13 for Ohio State, 8 for the Falcons. Battling as much as possible. Way up and over and long. Anna Shetek gets an error as soon as she gets an ace.
Shetek had 3 errors on the serve on Friday and 2 aces. So pretty similar stat sheet.
Mia Tyler mishandles the service. 2 errors in a row for the Falcons, and the Buckeyes will force Daniela Tomic to take her first timeout of this set. Ohio State leads 1-0 and lead this set 15-18 over Bowling Green on WBGU 88.1 FM.
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. At Children International, we know that the journey to end poverty for good begins first with a child. It starts with their first checkup, lesson, opportunity, job. That journey takes commitment from people like you and me to end poverty for good. Learn more at children.org.
We depend on our drinking water supply daily, but where does that water come from? Your water provider encourages you to get to know your local water source so together we can protect and preserve it. The investments we make as a community to protect our water source now ensure we have a sustainable drinking water supply for the future. Visit drinktap.org to learn more. This message is brought to you by the American Water Works Association and your local water provider.
Ohio State leads 15-8 in the Covelli Center at Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. I am Ben Korak from the Falcon Media Sports Network with Chaz McNeil, also from the Falcon Media Sports Network. For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter. The Falcons trying to get back into this game. They trail 7. Timeout taken by Daniela Tomic. Chaz, what do you think they talked about?
I don't know, Ben, because it's really interesting because you look at what's going on. Shetek having a very solid game so far. Hovey with 6 kills. They're not getting as much out of the offensive performance as they would like, and especially receiving-wise, they have had no answer to the velocity of the Buckeyes.
Back set from Shetek to Hovey. Hovey's blocked, but playable for the Falcons. Shetek back again to Hovey. Off the block and down.
That Hovey's 7th kill of the day.
Wasławczyk and Hernandez in the game for Anders and Mia Tyler. That's kind of been the subbing crew for Bowling Green. Wasławczyk and Anders on, Hernandez and Mia Tyler off. So Hernandez back. Nice strong, just hugs the net and mishandled by Grace Egan. You know, for all of her offensive capability, those service receives are not very good. That's a couple of errors already today on service receptions. That gives Sydney Hernandez her first ace of the day. Mishandled by Sydney Taylor. Back to Londa. Londa's been pretty quiet. OSU hasn't been able to find the ball. Mattil off the block, hits the official, out of play. BG takes the 11th point, cuts the deficit down to 4.
And that's what you really expect to see. That's what you want to see is on Friday, the Falcons, they did lose the game, but every set was within 5. You want to pull within. You want to stay close because this game could get ugly.
Taylor to Tuman. Tuman off the block and out of play. As soon as Bowling Green takes a couple, Ohio State takes one back. Sends Grace Egan behind.
Egan did not record an ace or an error off the serve on Friday, and she won't here.
Shetek to Hovey. Hovey, Egan receives. To Tuman. Tuman. And misplayed by Lauren Hovey. She was scaling away with her back to the net, trying to get the ball over her shoulder, but can't connect.
A rare misstep there by Hovey. She just completely missed the ball there. You're right, a misstep as that ball had some wicked spin on it.
That ball is in, just in the corner. LaPinta let it go. And it looks like Daniela Tomic is going to use her green challenge card. So we'll get the first challenge of the day here in Ohio State. Emily Londa with her last kill chasing a double-double. She needs one more dig. She got 12 kills, 1 air, 19 attempts. That's a 579 hitting percentage, much better than her 038 yesterday. Let's see if they show the replay here in the Cavelli Center. Doesn't look like they're going to. Just on the near side corner in front of the Falcons bench. Looks like they had a good look at it, and Tomic didn't even second guess herself, immediately pulled out the green card.
And Ben, from our angle, it did look like it was outside, but
on the other hand, the official was standing right over the ball.
That's what I was just about to say. The official was right there.
Officials do make poor calls here and there. Hazard of the trade, Barbara Zvonek, the head official here in the Cavelli Center. Charles Fleet, Shelby Hitchens, and Beverly Rhea.
And if you're a Bowling Green football fan, you'd agree with that too, that idea that officials tend to make mistakes.
Are you referencing a field goal from last night?
I may or may not just be talking about football in general. We don't really know.
Point goes to Bowling Green. So 17 for Ohio State, 12 for Bowling Green as the call is overturned. We're just hoping to implement that technology in NCAA football from hence here forth. Alexis Mattil.
It's good to know that one official knows what outside is.
Matilda Hasbrook to Tuman. Tuman has to bump it over. Webker off the net. And the point goes to BG. Looks like somebody touched the net. Or it might have hit the antenna as well. Nevertheless, BG cuts their lead, or cuts Ohio State's lead to 4. Mattil again. She has an ace, no errors. This one's neither. Tuman to Londa. Londa knocks it over. Is it wide? Yes, it is. Just outside the line. She had a lot of open space, but couldn't find it.
Londa tried some trickery there. She tried to wrap it around the blockers of Hovey and Andrews, and because of that, she just left it long on the outside.
Some more attacking errors for Ohio State. Blocked by the Falcons. They get a second chance. Hasbrook to Londa. Londa off the block. Andrews keeps it up. Bump set from Shetek. Across to Vaswavchik. She tops the ball too much. Sends it into the bottom of the net.
Obviously, Falcons didn't get the point there, but still, out of that break, you can tell that this Falcons team is playing much more like the one we saw on Friday. Up front, they're getting a lot more defensive, getting some good blocks.
Serve from Riley Rader into the net. A lot of service errors for both teams this weekend. 5 for Ohio State today, 4 for the Falcons, but a lot of aces as well. 7 total between the two teams. 18 for Ohio State, 15 for the Falcons. Can they battle back in the second set? Hovey knocks it over. Back, rejected by the Falcons, but out of play. Ohio State takes the point, extends their lead to 4, knocking on the door of 20 points.
And Ben, even if the Falcons don't end up winning today, it'll be interesting to see what they do in terms of formations, especially with Shetek coming in. Anders, as I've seemingly drilled into everybody's heads, MAC play is coming up.
Vaswavchik mishandles the serve, leaves it over for Eloise Brandoui. Easy attack and kill for her. That's her second kill of the day and forces Danielle Tomic to take her second timeout. 20 for Ohio State, 15 for the Falcons. Ohio State leads 1-0 on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Every year, millions of Americans use opioids to manage pain. And reliance on opioids has led to the worst drug crisis in American history. That's why the CDC recommends safer alternatives like physical therapy to manage pain. Physical therapists treat pain through movement, hands-on care, and patient education. No warning labels required. When it comes to your health, you have a choice. Choose physical therapy. Visit moveforwardpt.com to find a physical therapist in your area.
Hi everybody, I'm Jack Hanna. Since I was a boy, I've been fascinated with animals, especially their tireless work ethic. Just look at birds who gather supplies to build nests, or penguins who travel up to 500 miles to secure food for their families. This work ethic is shared by our best friends, canines who perform life-saving work every day. Dogs comfort returning veterans. They work with diabetics, alerting them when there's a change in their blood chemistry. Working dogs are valuable in many ways. So please join me and American Humane in supporting our heroic working dogs. Go to AmericanHumane.org to learn more.
Falcons talking over their options after the timeout by Daniela Tomic. They trail by 5. Ohio State has 20. BG has 15. And BG also trails 1-0. I'm Ben Korak with Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network. For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter. Chaz, it was an electric atmosphere in the Stroh Center on Friday. Pretty decent one here today in the Cavelli Center as well.
And the student section for the Buckeyes, much smaller than what we saw for Bowling Green. Over 1,000 fans came out in the student section on Friday to cheer on the orange and brown, which is unreal.
Brandewee knocks it over. Shetek handles it. Hernandez across to Vaswavchik, off the block, finds the floor. 21 for Ohio State, 15 for the Falcons.
And they may be small, but they are mighty. That Buckeyes student section is getting loud now, within 4 of taking set number 2.
Londa back again. She has totaled 13 kills, 2 errors, 22 attempts for 500 hitting percentage. Shetek way across to Vaswavchik. She knocks it over. BG's gone from the attack from that same side multiple times in a row, spawning Ohio State to attack the back left corner, and they land their 22nd point.
Londa officially at a double-double now, 14 kills, 10 digs. She also has a block, and all of that coming off of 23 total attacks, so a 522 hitting percentage. She has been let out of the bottle, unlike on Friday.
Has almost half of the total kills for Ohio State today. BG's attempt is blocked. Vaswavchik hit the net. And again, when it rains, it pours. BG down 23-15 after the timeout by Daniela Tomic. Landed again behind. Hernandez, Shetek. Shetek to Hovey from downtown, knocks it through. Blockers just a little bit late to that party, 23-16.
In comes Mia Tyler.
Vaswavchik up and over, nice and easy. Brandewee into the net. Point to the Falcons. Now chasing 6, 23-17. Ohio State leads in sets and points. Vaswavchik has the service but is getting subbed out for Madia Tabak. She goes behind for the service. She was one of the players that had a pretty decent day yesterday. She had 4 kills on 19 total attempts in her first game of playing more than one set. She had 2 sets played, and when BG needed her most, she was there. Mia Tuman across, blocked by Webker. I'm sorry, Webker is blocked by Anna Shetek. Shetek gets the solo block, 23 for Ohio State, 18 for the Falcons.
Now we've seen all 3 of that trio you mentioned in the pregame of Eddie, Shetek, and Tabak. And they've all made impact so far today as well.
Tabak, great serve, tumbles it over. Tuman to Webker, again blocked, but falls on the feet of the Falcons. Set point for Ohio State. BG with 6 to tie, 8 to win. Avery Anders in, Madia Tabak out.
Buckeye fans all on their feet here as they can smell blood in the water for set number 2.
Sydney Taylor. BG down to their last point. Shetek has to knock it over, nobody in position. Beautiful chance for Ohio State. Egan off the antenna. The point goes to BG.
And that was great misdirection, though, by the Buckeyes as they had Brandewee on the set, and I believe that was Egan go up.
Egan does not register to kill in this set. Londa doing most of the damage. And Jessica Andrews hits it into the net on the service. 25 for Ohio State, 19 for the Falcons as they drop their second set on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Crooked teeth may embarrass kids whose families can't afford braces, and trying to fix their teeth themselves can make things worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. For children and teens who qualify and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, treatment can be life-changing and help them smile with confidence. Learn more at aaoinfo.org.
Hey, I'm Tyler Kavlitz, and you are listening to 88.1 FM WBGU Bowling Green, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
A few years ago, Steve Faircow's lungs were failing.
I don't think I had more than a couple weeks to live.
That's when Steve received a lung transplant made possible by an organ donor. Now Steve can do things he never imagined, like climbing 94 floors to the top of a skyscraper.
I never knew that breathing could feel this good. It's an incredible gift.
What could you make possible as an organ, eye, and tissue donor? Leave behind the gift of life. Go to organdonor.gov, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
Matt always knew he wanted to be a doctor. That's why he makes the most of every day. To study before breakfast, to work hard, to do whatever was necessary to achieve his goal. He found an answer in the military. If you have a passion, a vision for your future in any field, todaysmilitary.com can be your path to a fulfilling career. You have a calling, we have an answer. Find your way at todaysmilitary.com.
You have the right to know. The right to know about culture. The right to know about the economy. The right to know about technology and to know about sports. You have the right to know about education and politics and the weather. You have the right to know what's happening abroad and in your backyard. But above all else, you have the right to know that this right is under attack, and we must work to protect it. Because in order to be free, we must be informed. Understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
After the second set, BG and Ohio State. 2 sets for Ohio State, 0 for Bowling Green. I am Ben Korak with Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network and the Covelli Center in Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. Chaz, it's been a rough couple of sets for the Falcons. As to be expected, Ohio State has played quite well, especially from Emily Londa. Grace Egan in the first set didn't do a whole lot in the second one, but Riley Rader picked up some of the slack. The Falcons just need to get something going.
That's right, Ben. The Falcons have really struggled with, I've drilled this, but they've really struggled with how strong the Buckeyes have been offensively. A lot of reception errors, a lot of spacing issues. They've been trying some misdirection, trying to get some good kills. They have gotten good work out of Lauren Hovey, who has 8 kills. She's got 3 blocks as well and 5 digs. But besides that, they don't really have a reliable second option. Shetek has been doing pretty well as well. Jessica Andrews had a good start and then started to fall off. They haven't found consistency. That was an issue on Friday. That's been an issue throughout the season. They had a bit of consistency happen in that USC DePaul Invitational where Jessica Andrews had a big couple games. Alexis Mattil ended up being named to the all-tournament team. It's just one of those situations where it's non-conference play. They're trying out some things. They need to start figuring out what's going to click as they head towards that matchup against Ball State.
One of the main things we've seen in previous games when BG has had success that we haven't seen today is middle blocking and middle offense. Jessica Andrews and Alexis Mattil have not been able to score in the middle like they did very well against Brown and DePaul, especially against Chicago State in their other win against Chicago State, and did in the Wright State tournament as well. They just haven't been able to find as many points as you want. And just as well in this game, the Falcons are being outblocked. against such strong offensive players such as Londa and Egan and Riley Rader, you're going to have to get your hands up, get them tall, and make sure to reject as many balls as you possibly can.
I mean, you're 100% right. Mattil has, on 7 total attacks, she's got 1 kill and an error with 2 blocks and 1 dig. Andrews, not much better with 3 kills on 12 attacks. She doesn't have any errors. She does have the 1 service error that ended set number 2, 2 digs and 1 block. The best defensively for the Falcons has been Lauren Hovey, who has been involved in a lot of blocks. She's got 3 and she's got 5 digs as well as 8 total kills with 3 errors. So Hovey has been the center. She has been the engine. She was the engine last year, but you need more. You need more consistency.
BG has led once in this game versus Ohio State, and that was when the score was 2-1 in the first set. They have not had a lead since. They've tied the game twice, both times in the first set, and Ohio State has dominated the score the rest of the time. They also dominate the sets 1, Ohio State 2, Bowling Green 0. 32 kills for Ohio State, 16 for the Falcons. 11 errors for Ohio State, but on the same number of attempts as the Falcons. Ohio State's hitting 304, the Falcons 103. 16 assists for the Falcons, 31 for Ohio State, 36 digs for Ohio State as well, and pretty similar in total blocks. So Olivia Hasbrook to start the third set. Ohio State chasing a sweep, chasing their 7th win of the season. That would advance them to 7-3. BG with a win goes above 500 to 6-5. If not, falls to 5-6. Anna Shitek in the game still for the Falcons with Madia Tabak. Grace Egan has blocked the line. Shitek back. Hovey off the block. Overset. Hovey again. Hasbrook keeps it up. Mattil with another strike. Can they keep it up? No. BG with their 2nd lead of the night. 1-0.
Great attrition there by Lauren Hovey, just slamming the hammer down. And the Buckeyes so good at digging everything out, but then with Mattil coming up, they just were unable to match.
Anna Shitek, the setter, still in the game for the Falcons, replacing Amanda Otten after that, or midway through that first set, and also through the entirety of the second set.
And that's what we saw on Friday as well. Shitek come in for Otten and take over.
Mia Tumen back to Londa. Londa between LaPinta and Hernandez ties the game 1-1.
And it'll be interesting to see what the Falcons do here, as they did such a good job staying with the Buckeyes on Friday. They have a tie right now. Can they just hold on and go back and forth?
LaPinta, Shitek to Mattil. Mattil is blocked, but it gives Bowling Green a second chance. Tabak just has to get it over around the antenna. Good job for her. Hasbrook leaves it long for Londa. Londa with a long shot received by the Falcons. Now Hovey with her own top spin, out of play. 2 for BG, 1 for Ohio State.
10th kill for Lauren Hovey. She's 4 digs away from a double-double.
Quite the spinner on the strong left hand from Lauren Hovey, off the block and into the bleachers behind the backs of Ohio State. Now Alexis Mattil, nice and strong. Mia Tumen across. She saves this one. Andrews leaves it over, but touches the net on the way through. A lot of net violations for both teams today.
And that ball.
You go ahead, Jeff.
That ball came off of Andrews, and with that ball came off of, I believe it was Shitek, and Andrews just, that set was way too solid hitting the net.
Tabak rips it off the block. Tumen back to Londa. Londa off the block, in play, yes! Bowling Green 3, Ohio State 2. Amanda Otten back in the game in place of Anna Shitek. So obviously Danielle Tomic sees something in Anna Shitek that she wanted Otten in the game for. Maybe slightly more offense, which has been the problem for the Falcons. On Friday, had not a single player in double-digit kills. The most was 9 by Alexis Mattil. Tumen back to London, off the block. Out of play. Looked like it had a chance, but spun just too far out.
And you mentioned Shetek. It could also be a size thing. Shetek, not that big. She's only 5'9", compared to Amanda Otten, who is 6'3". So 6 inches of height between them.
Raider over. Tabak clean. Otten back to Tabak at the line. Off of Egan. Egan keeps it up. Very athletic play from her. Across to Webker, off the block. Egan keeps it up again. The set back to Londot. Leaves it long. LaPinta. Otten. Back to Andrews. Andrews off of Egan again. Can they block it? No. Andrews sets it back. Is it on the line? No, it's wide. Great rally for the Falcons, but Ohio State comes up with the point. First lead of the set for the Buckeyes.
Interesting lineup here for the Falcons as Tabak, Andrews, and Otten are all in the line on the far side.
Egan serves it into the net. Point goes back to BG, ties it back up. Hernandez out, Mia Tyler in, as well as Hasbrook for Ohio State.
And Ben, it's no secret, the Falcons are going to need some errors from the Buckeyes to stay in this game. That's what happened on Friday. You're just going to need some mistakes. But right now, keeping it close off of a couple service errors.
Phenomenal serve from Tabak, just gets over the net, screws up the timing of Ohio State. Amanda Otten tries to dunk it over, but hits it into the net, so they send the point back. Tabak out, Avery Anders in to play the back row.
Otten tries the quick putback there. She tried a couple of those on Friday, and it honestly was working pretty well against the Buckeyes until she was subbed out in that second set.
LaPinta back to Tyler. Tyler's blocked. Hovey keeps it up, but no Falcon able to save her dig. So 6 for Ohio State, 4 for the Falcons. We touched on something a few seconds ago. There's been two main differences between this game and the game on Friday. One, Emily Londot has been far more efficient. 16 kills, only 3 errors, where she had 14 errors on Friday. So the same amount of kills as the Falcons knock it back over. Hovey, Otten, back to Andrews. Andrews off the antenna. Point goes to Ohio State, 7 for them, 4 for the Falcons. But that's the main one. Emily Londot has just been simply played better today. Already at a double-double, tied her kill total from 4 sets in 3 and not even 3 today. The other thing has been Bowling Green's blocking. They haven't been getting up and down just as well as they did in the game in the Stroh Center in Bowling Green, Ohio, as they do in the Cavelli Center.
Well, Ben, you give Londot all that praise, and then she goes and gives you a service error.
16 kills, no aces, 1 error, 16.5 points for Emily Londot. LaPinta to Egan, across to Tuman, off of Webker's block. Anderson, LaPinta, co-bump it. Tyler, top spins it over. Tuman, back to Brandewie. Brandewie on the slide over, can't land it. Otten, way across to Tyler. Tyler off of Hansbrook, she keeps it in. Webker again off the block and finds the feet of Alexis Mattil. 8 for Ohio State, 5 for the Falcons. BG's got to prevent Ohio State from pulling away.
And I want to go back to what you were saying about Londot, because it is honestly insane. We talked about on Friday how it was an entire group effort, and right now there has been a lot of great athletic plays. You have Hasbrook, 13 digs. You've got 11 digs from Londot herself, but it seems like Londot just pulling away 16 kills, 28 total attacks. She's just really doing it all right now.
Sydney Taylor behind. Anders. Otten sets to Tyler. Tyler off the block and knocks it back down to the floor as it's packed down on her head. Approaching double-digit points for Ohio State in the third set. They lead 2-0. I'm Ben Korak with Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network. For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter. Avery Anders lays out on that serve receive. Keeps the play alive for the Falcons. Tuman across to Egan. Off of Mattil into the net, onto the floor. 10 for Ohio State, 5 for BG. And that'll force Daniela Tomic to take her first time out. 10 for Ohio State, 5 for Bowling Green. Ohio State leads 2-0 on WBGU 88.1 FM.
People join Walk MS to raise awareness and funds that change the world for everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. Walk MS brings communities together, creating teams with friends, loved ones, and coworkers to rally around those we care about and end MS forever. Together, we can change the world for people with MS. Register today at walkms.org.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future in a world that's changing fast. Do play and laugh. Do win and lose. Do it all with confidence, kindness, and strength. And always do your best to remember that no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing. Inspire kids to do at 4h.org.
Ohio State has found their stride in the third set. They lead 2-0 over Bowling Green in the Covelli Center in Ohio State University campus in Columbus, Ohio. I'm Ben Korak with Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Chaz, we were just talking a little bit. Errors were a big thing in the game on Friday between the Falcons and Ohio State. And I think BG's just not been able to capitalize a lot on the errors by Ohio State today.
I completely agree with you, Ben. And that was something that changed for them on Friday. They really were able to just stick with the Buckeyes and capitalize. If it was spacing, if it was how they attacked, something's just a little bit different today.
Alexis Mattil gets her second kill as she rips it into the middle of the court. No blockers got up to challenge her, so an easy play from her. Lauren Hovey also with 10 kills. Chases a double-double. She has 8 digs as well. Egan down the line. That's indefensible. Just skirts the antenna on the near side of the court. Down the line with the right hand. Outstanding stuff from Grace Egan.
And that was just beautiful. Otten, who was the closest body, had no chance of getting up for it or going back for it, as she will be subbed out for Anna Shitek.
Falcons desperate to change something up, get something moving. Mattil, nice dink over. Finds the middle of the hardwood. 11 for Ohio State, 7 for the Falcons. Tabak in for Avery Anders. Sydney Hernandez in for Mia Tyler. Hernandez will go back for the service. Hernandez, LaPinta, Shitek, Hovey, Tabak, and Mattil. Tuman up. Egan, beautiful reception by LaPinta to keep it alive. BG has to knock it back over, but just keeping the play alive was immaculate enough. Hernandez to Tabak. Tabak, spinner, handled by Londit. Tuman back to Brandewie. Brandewie knocks it out of play. It was bad set by Tuman on the back. And BG narrows their deficit to 3.
And that's what you want to see if you're a Falcon fan. Bowling Green sticking with Ohio State on this set, 8-11. They're only down 3.
Egan receives Hernandez. Tuman slash across. Rader is blocked. Tuman back across to Egan. Blocked again by the Falcons, off the net, out of play. Good block by the Falcons. They got up just a little bit off to the right, off the side of their hands. Grace Egan with 8 kills. Emily Londit with 16. Riley Rader with 6. And Reese Webker with 4. Anna Shitek trying to get Tabak her first, but it's wide. It's a good strike up the seam from Nadia Tabak.
And just like we mentioned before, those errors, those mistakes, those little things that you can't capitalize on.
LaPinta, Shitek, Otten, dinks it over, received by Londit. Hasbrook, rejected by Mattil and Hovey. We need to see more of that, Chaz, from Hovey, Mattil, Tabak, Andrews. That's when the Falcons were successful yesterday, was when they were able to get in the face and force Londa and Egan to fight around. Sydney Taylor misreceives the serve. So an ace goes to Alexis Mattil.
Second ace for Mattil. And you're right, Hovey with 4 blocks. She's leading the team in blocks right now, which is not really what you want to see. It's good that she's putting up good blocking numbers, but you'd like to see that number spread around a little bit more.
Londa with the attack, blocked. Ohio State a little bit out of position. Londa attacks again, the second chance falls. LaPinta in for Alexis Mattil. Jessica Andrews blocked back in. Hovey, Shetek, Andrews on the front. Tabak, Hernandez, and LaPinta on the back. Targets Hernandez, back to Hovey. Hovey off the net. Into the O-zone. Off the block and out of play. Falcons again get up, but spins it just out of bounds. 15 for Ohio State, 10 for Bowling Green.
And that's where it is so hard to defend if you are the Falcons, with how hard the Buckeyes have been hitting that ball. You can't judge the ricochet. You can't tell where it's going to go. It's just going very fast.
Egan gets her 3rd ace of the day as she hits the top of the tape, and it falls down without a play from the Falcons. Unlucky for them. 3 aces, 3 errors from Grace Egan, who yesterday had only 1 ace on 2 errors. Tabak miss hits. Can she get it over? Nope, into the net. $17 for Ohio State, 10 for the Falcons. As Ohio State leads 2 sets to nothing. BG trails 7, trying to get their way back into this one. Grace Egan into the net. That's one way to do it. Sends a point back to Bowling Green.
And just another missed opportunity. That's 8 service aces so far on the day for the Buckeyes. I believe the Buckeyes had 13 service aces on Friday. That's way too many points to leave on the board if you are Bowling Green. You have to be able to capitalize off of those and build on those.
Hovey with the left hand up and over. Overshot, Andrews rips it down. Momentum builder for the Falcons. The bench gets up and screams. 17 for Ohio State, 12 for the Falcons. That's what we like to see, and that's what we saw on Friday, is capitalizing on those mistakes, Chaz.
And you've got to love the cool, confident demeanor of Andrews, who slammed that ball down and then just stood there. There's still work to be done. They're down 5.
Hovey to Hasbrook, to Tillman. Londa has to knock it down. She does cross court. 18 for Ohio State, nearing that 20-point mark. Jen Oldenburg has yet to take a timeout for Ohio State. She took a lot yesterday because of how well Bowling Green had been playing.
And Ben, I think that environment really does help as well. You're in a crowd, 4,000, record-breaking, biggest crowd Ohio State has played under, and they've played against teams like ranked Miami and ranked Florida. So it's just really difficult to win when you've got a big crowd against you.
19 for Ohio State, 12 for the Falcons after Hovey sends it into the next county on her attack. So I'll put Caitlin Hoffman in the game. And she does not get credit for an ace as it hit 2 Falcons, but a bad reception from Madia Tabak, and that'll force Daniela Tomic to take her first timeout. 20 for Ohio State, 12 for Bowling Green on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Dad, guess what?
What?
You are going to be a grandfather.
That's great. Not too long ago, moments like this with my daughter would have been a challenge. It was a long road for me to find myself again after Vietnam. It was my neighbor Jim, another Vietnam veteran, who finally convinced me that I could still connect with my family and find that fulfilling life I'd lost. And I went for help down at the VA. If I can take that first step after almost 50 years, I know other veterans can too. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
When someone hears the words, "you have cancer," it's one of the darkest moments in their life. Light the Night brings light to the darkness of cancer by uniting survivors, patients, and supporters in the cause to end cancer. We form a community of hope, raising funds in support of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. The discoveries made by LLS-supported research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. When we walk, cancer runs. Join the movement to end cancer today. Visit us at lightthenight.org.
Ohio State leads 20-12 in the Covelli Center at Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. I am Ben Korak with Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Ohio State leads 2-0 and has dominated the Falcons. They lead by 8, currently only 5 points away from taking their third set and completing a sweep in the second game of a home series. Chaz, it's been a completely different game than the one we saw on Friday. Very strong performance from the Falcons. Even though they didn't come away with the win, they were within 2 or 3 of taking the set in all 3. And yet today Ohio State comes away with domination. Perfect timing from Otten and Andrews. Andrews knocks one through at the 3-meter line. So Mia Tyler checks in for Sydney Hernandez, rotating to the front row. BG still chases 7.
And there's so many factors. You had to take a 2-hour bus ride to get here. You have to play in a pretty hostile environment, a lot of fans.
Madia Tabak, way up and over. Nice tumbling. Londa tries to knock it over, blocked by Andrews and Tyler. Now again from Andrews, she tips it over. Londa again with the attack. Otten sets it up. Bump from LaPinta to Tyler. Is it in? No, it's long. Good chance from Mia Tyler, just slightly away. 21 for Ohio State, 13 for BG.
So in comes Avery Anders. And you'd like to think she is going to have a big role as tournament play, or excuse me, as MAC play comes along with how often we've seen her, and as just a freshman too.
19 kills for Emily Londa, only 3 errors, 471 hitting percentage. She also has 14 digs, as there's an ace from number 12, Megan McCann. And spawns loud applause from everybody here in the Covelli Center.
Just a summary of the day. LaPinta eyeing that one, deciding not to dig it out, and because of that, Buckeyes now within 3.
Tyler is blocked. Andrews tries to receive it, but knocks it even further out of play. 23 for Ohio State, 13 for the Falcons. It's looking like BG might just want to eat their Wheaties and call it a night. Megan McCann again, just in the game. This is her first set played in the series. Her ball is just long. Could have very well been an ace with a few inches either way.
And that's the point of conference play. These are tough opponents.
And it looks like Jen Oldenburg will call a challenge, just cursory, to see if they can get the set point from an ace from Megan McCann. Like we said before, Emily Londa, 19 kills, followed by Grace Egan with 8. Reese Webker with 4. Riley Rader has 6. Mia Tooman, the setter, has 1 kill, but 32 assists. Grace Egan also leads in aces with 4. She also has 7 digs. Emily Londa leads both teams in digs with 14, as well as Hansbrook following just close behind her. Inside of the Falcons, Lauren Hovey has 10 kills, 4 blocking assists, 8 digs, and 12 total points. 231 her hitting percentage. Found a little bit of a swing today, but none of the other Falcons can. The next closest is Jessica Andrews with 5 kills on 18 attempts, 167 hitting percentage, 2 digs, a service error, 2 blocking assists, and 6 points for Jessica Andrews. A rough day offensively for the Falcons.
I mean, it's hard to find a bright spot in a game like this where you've been completely outclassed on offense, defense, with the serves. Everything has not gone your way. I mean, you look at it, Lauren Hovey, 10 kills. She's 2 digs short of a double-double. That could be used as a bright spot, but as a whole, this is what happens in conference play, and I was trying to touch on that a little bit earlier. It's going to happen like this. You're going to have a game where you're completely outclassed, even if you compete just a couple days prior. A lot can go a lot of different ways, and today just not going the Falcons' way.
Charles Fleet, the official on the near side of the court next to the media table, says the point stays with the Falcons, so BG trails 9, 23 for Ohio State. Strong. McCann to Hasbrook. Over and across to Lauren Murphy. Murphy can't land it. Tuman back to Murphy again. Bench players in for Ohio State. Otten back across to Tyler. Tyler off the block. Now Hovey sets it. Back to Tyler. Tyler way long. Set point for Ohio State.
And Tyler just trying to get something done there. Just trying to put some speed on that ball. Put it where nobody can get it. And she did, just a little bit too far out of reach.
Losing by 2 sets and 10 points, you might as well rip it.
Exactly.
When the opportunity comes. Service from Ohio State. BG down to the last point. Across to Mattil. Mattil off the block, finds the floor, delays what could be the end of the game for the Falcons. Down 9. Amanda Otten, the server. It's a tough situation in where you can't get risky with your serve because you could put the set away, as Jessica Andrews did in the last set with a service error. Nice and easy over. Hasbrook to Tuman. Tuman across to Egan. Egan off of Otten, and that'll end the game. Sweep for Ohio State over the Falcons. Final score 25-15 on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill, and just past that vintage denim jacket you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. Ah, that's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Standing up for what's right. Helping out when things go wrong. Seeking the truth and speaking our minds. Not just making records, but breaking them. Leading the way behind the camera, beyond the runway, and on the silver screen. Not just making our mark, but making a difference. Now that's a job for a Girl Scout. Girl Scouts, preparing girls for a lifetime of leadership.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
It was a rough game for the Falcons in the Covelli Center at Ohio State in Columbus, Ohio. They lose in 3 sets. Domination from Ohio State coming back after a very close game on Friday against the Falcons. Chaz, it's a little bit rough. What did you see today in this game?
As a whole, just absolute domination by the Buckeyes. There's no other way to put it. And that is not a bad thing for Bowling Green, and I think that's what you have to take out of this. You mentioned it, the middle's just not effective. The number one person you had in blocks was Lauren Hovey, the opposite. On top of that, you couldn't get any offense going. Hovey had 10 kills, but besides that, 5 kills from Jessica Andrews, 4 kills from Alexis McTill. Just as a whole, not what you'd like to see. So MAC play now coming up. You've got Ball State, a heated rival in the volleyball world. Something you really would like to take that aggression out on. Tough loss, not always a bad thing. Shows you what you need to clean up. And honestly, it's the most obvious mistakes you can see. They didn't capitalize on the mistakes of Ohio State. And I can almost guarantee you that with the coaching staff that the Falcons have, that will not happen again.
You know, with obvious mistakes, thus come obvious ways to fix certain problems that you have in your game. Especially, you mentioned that middle, 9 kills from the 2 middle blockers in this game, as well as 5 blocking assists. That's not the numbers Bowling Green saw against Brown and against DePaul, in which they were very successful in the middle, had a lot of blocks as well. Couldn't get a setter going as well. Anna Shitek had 8 assists. Amanda Otten had only 9. BG had only 23 total kills to Ohio State's 42. And we said before, Emily Londa did not have a good game against Bowling Green on Friday, and whether that was due to Bowling Green's defense playing a little bit better or due to her just not playing well, she had 19 kills today and only 3 errors, 34 total attempts for a 471 hitting percentage. She did get a double-double with 14 digs to couple with her 19 kills. Grace Egan had 9 kills of her own. She also had 4 aces, 7 digs, and 13 total points. Riley Rader had 6 kills on 15 attempts, 1 error, 333 hitting percentage, and 1 assist, 6.5 points for her. And Eloise Brandewie, who we did not see a whole lot of out of the middle. It was mainly Riley Rader out of the last 2 games. She had 3 kills, 2 errors, 12 total attempts, as 0.83 hitting percentage, with 4 blocking assists as well, for a team that tied with Bowling Green in blocks 10-10. So Chaz, it was a little bit of an unfortunate game, but still very fun to call this one with you. I'd also like to thank Artie back in the booth, who ran the board for the last 2 games, as well as Foster, who helped them out a little bit. So thank you guys for your help this weekend. That's it for BGSU in the Cavelli Center, and against Ohio State, they dropped to 0-14 all-time against Buckeyes. Final score of this game, 3-0 for the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Falcons start their MAC regular season this coming Friday and Saturday against Ball State in Muncie, Indiana. Chaz and I will have the call in Muncie at 6 p.m. on Friday and 4 p.m. on Saturday on WBGU 88.1 FM. Game and all of the BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com and BG_FMSN on Twitter, and follow BGSU Volleyball on all social media platforms. Also, again, just to thank Artie and Chaz, who helped us this weekend with the broadcast. Thank you very much. And to the superiors of us in the Falcon Media Sports Network organization, thank you for allowing Chaz and I to broadcast this game as well. Chaz McNeil, myself, Ben Korak, signing off for tonight on WBGU 88.1 FM, your home for BGSU Volleyball.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter